Yeah, let's talk about one quarterback whose name is Derek Q. Carr the fourth, playing against Detroit. Look, all of Derek Carr's pass catchers are hurt right now. We have Chris Olave with a concussion, Michael Thomas on IR with whatever injury he has now. We have Rashid Shaheed with a, quote, good little quad injury, according to Dennis Allen, whatever that means. So we could be looking at Lynn Bowden as the wide receiver one for the Saints coming into this week. We have to monitor that situation very closely. But I will say that the matchup is right here because the Lions are the league's fifth most extreme pass funnel, first of all, this season. And JJ, I was actually kind of shocked at how bad the Lions secondary has been of late. Since week 9, no team has allowed a higher dropback success rate, and no team has allowed a higher EPA per dropback by like a huge margin, right? Like not even close. So it is a good matchup. Hopefully Olave can suit up. Carr would be a good play.
Yeah, I think if Olave can go, then I feel very, very good about Carr. All right, I'm going to move on to another streamer, and here we go, Denny. First time all year we've talked about him, I think. Kenny Pickett against Arizona. The Steelers offense, how awesome is it that the Steelers offense finally got to 400 total yards, the literal game after they filed Matt Canada?
It sounds fake. I actually thought it was a fake stat.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy, right? So the Steelers looked a lot more competent this past week against Cincinnati. Kenny Pickett this season has 0 QB1 performances, no top 12 performances. But I'm predicting, Denny, that changes this week. Kenny Pickett is going to be a QB1 this week. And not only that, Pickett has never thrown more than 2 touchdown passes in a single game. He's only thrown 2 touchdown passes once in his entire career. I'm calling it right now on this show. He doesn't throw 2 touchdown passes this week. He throws 3.
Oh, wow.
Kenny Pickett has 3 touchdown passes against Arizona, the 7th best team in terms of matchup, in terms of adjusted fantasy points allowed. The Steelers actually have the 7th highest implied team total on the slate this week. I'm calling it. This is the game that Kenny Pickett finally is worthy of all the best ball shares that I drafted this
year. It's a good spot. I will say, my co-host turns into a blues brother and suddenly he gets very bold on his Steelers.
Well, look, I'm wearing a disguise. No one knows that I'm actually saying
right. No one will remember it because you're wearing shades. I like that call. The Steelers, hey, you know what they did? They discovered that there's a middle of the field that you can actually throw the ball toward the middle of the field and good things happen.
Right. Did you watch the game last night with Justin Fields just constantly throwing these screens and like not using the middle of the field whatsoever? And then they happened to get the game-winning catch to get them in field goal range on a play right down the middle of the field. DJ Moore wide open. Just so mind-blowing. So stupid.
Yeah, bad teams ignore the middle of the field, period.
Yes. All right. You got one more.
Yeah. Oh, I do. I have Minshew. Gardner Minshew. My computer's being a little slow. Sorry. Gardner Minshew against Tennessee Titans. Titans are a good matchup. They're slight pass funnel. I do think that like in week 2 or 3, they were labeled like the most extreme pass funnel of all time. Yeah. It really is not. That has not held up. Okay. Just so
I do think there is some anchoring bias about the Tennessee defense where it's like, oh, they're this unbelievable rush defense and they're so bad against it's not that extreme. It's not that crazy.
No, since like week 4 or 5, I was looking it up last week. The Titans have been like middle of the road in most rush defense metrics. So anyway, they're really just like an okay defense. Anyway, the Titans are giving up the 2nd highest dropback EPA since week 7, the 5th highest passing success rate since that point. They're allowing the 2nd highest completion rate over expected on the year, which was a little surprising. And the Colts have an implied total of 22.5, which, hey, you know what, JJ, you could do worse than that. So I do think Minshew is in play as a streamer.
Yeah, I'll show you one way you could do worse, and that's with Jake Browning against Jacksonville this week. This is a deep desperation play, but it's the 6th best matchup by adjusted fantasy points allowed. He's got the weapons around him. The situation's fine. He's shown off a little bit of athleticism so far. A couple weeks ago against Baltimore, he had 4 rushes for 40 yards. So only a desperation play. Don't play Jake Browning if you have the I can't imagine a world where a league has Kenny Pickett doesn't have Kenny Pickett available, right? Like I would play Pickett over Browning.
I mean, not in my league, man. I had to take Pickett in the 3rd round. Sorry.
Oh, right. I forgot about that. The Kenny only league.